Hello, everybody. This is Dale from Good Tree Ministries, and I was reading Proverbs yesterday, and the Lord put it on my heart to make a video about this. So, chapter is chapter 31, and the verse is 9. It says, "Open thy mouth, judge righteously, and plead the cause of the poor and needy." And I haven't done this very well. I do not like asking people for money. And the truth is there's so many people that need help. Like, we have not been able to do any ministry in Uganda to help starving children since November of last year. It cost roughly $700 in order to feed 40 starving children and their family. And the reason why you got to feed the family is because the mother has to be in the clinic with the child the whole time, right? So, because a lot of times they live in a remote village in the middle of nowhere, and they walk to these clinics because their babies are dying, looking for help, and then they have to stay in the clinic with nothing to eat. They were poor enough they couldn't even feed themselves, because a lot of the times the ones that are starving are the babies that are sucking the breast milk, and because the woman is starving, she's not producing breast milk, and therefore the child is dying. And so they both need help and recovery. And so that's what it costs, right? About 40 children cost about $700. And the reason for that is you can only use people that you trust. People will steal you blind over there. So you got to pay the employee. You got to pay for his transport to get there. You got to pay for his hotel. You got to pay for him to buy the food, etc. Take pictures, have proof, all that good stuff, and then the data and the phones and everything costs about $700 to feed 40 families, and then you can give some of the stuff to the clinic where they have the children, right? So you'll give them some corn flour so that they can continue to make milk for the children. But anyways, we haven't been able to do that. Why? Because no one's giving money, right? We were blessed enough that at our church we did a fundraiser. Everybody gave one time, and then everybody stopped giving. Let's put it this way. Right now we're running an orphanage in Benin where we have about 25 children. Some of them are more permanent than others, but the government's been bringing us children that are in rough situations. They don't have a foster care system there, so we are the foster care system. And that costs $1,000 a month to run. About $660, depending on the exchange rate, is the employee's wages. Now, God has blessed us that a lot of times people will bring food donations in Africa, local people, because they see what we've been doing. We've been there for 3 years. They know we're not scammers, and so they bring us food, but they still don't trust people enough, that they're going to bring money, right? So they'll bring rice, they'll bring, lots of rice, usually rice, ramen, pasta, but a lot of times no one brings beans, no one brings corn flour, which they use a lot in Africa. So we end up buying that. We have to buy oil, we have to buy meat, we have to buy medicine, we have to pay electricity, we have to pay for rent. I just paid rent. That was $2,100. I didn't know where that money was coming from. Our largest donor is actually a pastor in Africa that lives in the same town as our orphanage, and he gives $100 a month. I've only gotten $110 in the last 3 months from all American donors. I mean, that's it. So, nobody's been given. I don't know. People just don't know. I know I don't like to ask, but here I am, I'm asking. If we need to help people, I'm going to plead the cause of the poor, right? As Christians, if you read Matthew 25, it says that the difference between real Christians and fake Christians, one of the big differences is that they helped people. They helped the poor. And, we have to help the poor. We are some of the richest people in the world, and we have to do what we can, right? The orphanage in Medina costs $1,000. It's all I can do right now with the job I have and my income in my house. Literally, that is all I can do, is to keep that orphanage afloat. And even that is not a sure thing. It's only by the grace of God that thing has stayed open. And I mean that. Like, and here's the really sad thing. I really want to get into Uganda because they're starving. They're so starving over there. And no one's there. No one's helping them. There's no like NGOs just running to the rescue. I don't know. We just think because like in America, because we have SNAP and we have food stamps, that there's nobody starving in the world. America. We're rich. Our poor people are fat. Like in Africa, poor people die because they don't have food. So we need to plead the cause of the poor and the needy, and they need us. They need you. They need your help. Like it takes $700, right? And it's not like there's only 40 people. No, who knows exactly how many, but from what I've seen researching it, there's probably a couple 100,000 every year that are probably dying because no one is there to help them. And so we need to start somewhere. And so let's start with 40. Let's save 40 children a month, right? And so 40 children a month, we need $700. So we need 7 people to give $100. And we can save 40 children a month. So that's all I can. Please go to goodtreeministries.org. Please give. Please help the best you can. Really, we need more than 7 people to give $100. We really need like 20 people to give $100. That would change everything. That would free us up to do so much ministry, to help so many people. And really where I want to expand the ministry is in Uganda. I really want to get that moving. But we need to keep the orphanage in Benin healthy, and we need to be able to expand that. The government's talking about giving us land in December. It's not for sure, but we've been approved. We're fully official. They bring us all the children from the police and from social services, and they're going to give us land. We have to pay to build there, but they're going to give us land. They're talking about giving us somewhere around 4 to 5 lots. That's what they're talking. Nothing's guaranteed, but by the grace of God, we'll have that sometime early next year. And then it's our responsibility to build. And so we have to come up money for that. And then from there, we can just help more and more children. And there's a big need there too. There's a big need with basically abused children. A lot of the children that are at the orphanage are abused, abandoned, or runaway children. And that's who we help, right? Like one child, her dad killed her mom with a machete, and then she was placed with her aunt, and her aunt didn't send her to school, treated her as a slave, and beat her. I mean, these are the children that we're helped save, right? There's a need. There's a great need in Benin. But I really want to get into Uganda. I want to get into other nations where the need is even greater. Like Uganda, like these children are just dying, starving to death. And I need your help. I need your help to get there. I need your help to solidify the presence there and to be able to build an orphanage. Really what it needs, we need an orphanage and a medical center in Uganda. We can operate for a while and support basically the clinic that's there. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. You start with what you have. But if we really want to make a difference, we really want to make a change, especially in the greater culture, like there needs to be like an orphanage there. In Uganda, it's actually worse than Benin as far as like street children. There's lots of street children there that people have just abandoned, discarded. Nobody cares about them. They're literally picking plastic off the street. They grow up where like from 5 years old, they're huffing like jet fuel and like picking up plastic, and they're living on the street. No one's taking care of these kids. They're fending for themselves. They're not going to school, nothing. And it's not good. They need our help. And the culture is like people it's normalized. People just like, oh, those are street children. And they treat these children like little children, like we treat bums, like with disdain and like they should do better. And yeah, like in America, like a lot of them could get jobs. We know they could, and that's why there's that kind of attitude there. But these are little children. They shouldn't. They should have role models. They should have parents. They should have guardians that help educate and raise them in a righteous way. And instead, they have these children that grew up to be teenagers that are basically their parents, the older street children, and then they basically raise the children underneath them to live like they did. And so it becomes like a perpetual cycle. And so there needs to be orphanages to help take care of these children. But anyways, the most urgent need is the starving children. So please give the best you can. We need roughly 20 people to give $100 a month. And that will support the orphanage in Benin and also help establish a really firm presence in Uganda. And we will save children every month. I guarantee you. So give the best you can. God bless you. GoodTreeMinistries.org. Have a good day.